Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.
Oscar BEVIS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Delighted today to be joined via Zoom by the ghost, Asinia Byfield, who makes his return to the channel for, I think, the first time since you fought Ted Cheeseman for the British. So, yeah, it's been a while. How are we?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yes, good to be back fighting again.
Where are you at the moment? Are you anywhere interesting or just indoors?
Just at home at the moment.
Just chilling before Belarus. I'm going to come on to all the boxing stuff in a sec, but I just want to sort of address the period off that you had, because before your comeback in August, which obviously we'll talk about, you'd been out of the ring for nearly 2 years, about 22 months. Do you just want to tell us about the reasons for that?
Yeah, there was a little bit of falling out between me and Matchroom, on my part, morely. So yeah, we've managed to sort that out and basically get past it. So that was for the long time out after the Cheeseman fight. And also there was a lot of people pulled out of fights. A lot of fighters with good records just wouldn't fight me. So I was in that position where who needs him? So I couldn't get nothing.
I'm going to have to delve into the falling out that you speak of. Do you want to tell us a little bit more in detail about how a falling out, how it came across, or the reasons behind that?
It was morely a misunderstanding rather than a falling out. But I think respect-wise, there's a little bit of respect lost on their part, on their side, and basically we just had to just talk and reason and explain a few things, which sorted it all out. But yeah, it wasn't necessarily a falling out. It's just more of a misunderstanding.
Is it a bit crap from a boxer's perspective as well? Because obviously you had the defeat to Ted, and sort of the post-mortem of that and people dissecting that fight. You don't want it to go on for too long. You want to sort of get back in the ring, get a win, and try and move your career on. But because you haven't been able to do that, sort of the Ted Cheeseman loss is still something that people talk about surrounding you.
Yeah, it is sort of. But obviously at that time I've done a lot of other things. I'm not just like one tracked where fighting's my everything. You know what I mean? So it gave me a chance to step out of that being in it inside of the whole boxing scene. I was able to step out, and I've built a boxing gym now, so I've got my own gym. I can train in my own times. Like I'm a lot more independent now, whereas before I struggled. I needed sponsors. I had to have help from people. Whereas this time coming back, training. This camp's been going great. I've got my own gym, so Corona hasn't affected me in any way. So I think everything happens for a reason, and I think honestly that time out, I wouldn't have had it any other way now. When I look back at it and I see what's happened and the fighter I am today.
Am I right in saying that at the gym you've been doing some work with sort of some younger people as well, and sort of jumping straight into the community side of things as well?
Yeah, definitely. I've been helping a lot of the kids in the area. I've got a few kids down there that was in exactly the same situation as me a few years ago, that I've now got training, and they've been staying out of trouble, and they're actually looking really good now. So they've got hope now that they could turn their life around as well. So yeah, it's been beneficial in more than one way.
But are you still the same ghost? I mean, I remember after the Sammy McNess fight, sort of your post-fight interview, like the animation, you were so hyped, buzzed. Is that sort of do you still feel the same about boxing? Have you still got that little buzz for it as well?
Yeah, I've definitely still got that little buzz. It's coming back more and more as I get in. On my last fight, I think it was more of the guys, he's a decent guy, he's ranked well. I'm gonna have a lot of ring rust, so I had to sort of accept that and get in there and just give it 100 and just do the best I could. But I did look at it as a warm-up fight, and that was exactly what it was. I wouldn't say I got outclassed. I wouldn't say I even got outboxed. I literally, I weren't ever hurt. So to be fair, it morely looked bad on my opponent rather than my part, if you see what I'm saying. Been out the ring for 2 years, come back against someone that's top 50 in the world. when I look back at it, I'm not disappointed by that. So yeah, I'm still definitely the same fighter. I've changed in a lot of ways, technique wise, and how I fight now, which is for the better, which we'll see in the fight coming up. I brought in a new coach as well, John Edwards. We've bonded well together. So I've got Tank Jarvis and John Edwards in my corner this time. Where Tank Jarvis, he was a fighter we used to fight together in the same stable. So I think now I'm gonna have the experience of John Edwards. He's trained a load of elite fighters in the amateurs and pros. So yeah, and both of their coachings bonded well together. So it's done a lot. So you'll see in fight night.
I want to talk a little bit more about that fight against, for those who don't know, it was against Ismail Iliev, a Bulgarian, I believe. And it was in Minsk on one of the Siesta Promotions Cold War shows. Not your average return. Like, you know, someone's return after a defeat might be like a low-key against a journeyman at York Hall, a few bits down the card. You don't sell many tickets. You just get back into the groove of things. It's not your average comeback fight.
Definitely not. Definitely not. At that stage, it was looking like we weren't going to get a fight against a lot of fighters before that. 22-1, 25-3. Like all of these opponents all said no. They just wouldn't have a fight. So yeah, when I got the call and the offer, I didn't even ask for records, names, or anything. It was like, yeah, get me in there. How many rounds? Yeah, okay, cool. So, and that was what it was.
You think you sort of almost have to understand it's probably quite a blessed position to be in as well, because you fought on the small hall circuit and the small hall circuit's dead at the moment. So I suppose if you get an opportunity, you feel like you have to take it.
Yeah, you got to take it, innit? That's where it comes in. Like some fighters are fighter by nature, some people are taught. I'm a fighter by my whole life. I've been fighting, so to get in there and fight, even if I know the odds are stacked against me, like I'm never gonna let myself down. I'm always gonna give it 200%, and I'm always gonna get out of that ring with my head held high.
Tell us who's in the other corner then for this 2.0, what this sort of second endeavour in Minsk. So you're back in Belarus. You've got 6 days till fight night. Tell us who's in the other corner and tell us what we're going to be getting.
Well, I haven't had a lot of a look at him. I did look at him at the beginning of the fight, at the beginning of the camp, sorry, and I weren't impressed. I looked at it. I watched it for as long as I could bear. I probably got a minute and a half through the first round, and I think I skipped it a bit towards the middle of the fight, and then watched a little bit there, and then I just turned it off. I haven't looked since. He looks like he's a fighter that's going to try and get on the inside. Looks like he throws a lot of hooks. Don't really like straight punches. But like I said, I'm not even worried on who's in the other side of the corner. When I get in that ring, it's just me in there, and that's it. I'm on my own.
I was going to say, because you haven't really sold him to us there. You said you got bored of watching him after a minute off. So is it gonna be on you to push the fight, you to put the pressure on?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to control the fight. I'm going to control the fight. I'm going to look for the stoppage as always. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be patient. And yeah, I'm expecting to see a boxing masterclass on fight night. And that's really all I'm looking forward to, is to that, and then training for the next fight so I can see the improvement.
I'm sure that's music to Al Siesta's ears. I believe you're working with him sort of on a more permanent basis now. Are you tied down with Al now?
Yeah. So we got a 5-fight contract, so we're just gonna get these fights out the way and look to see what position we can put ourselves in, either before or after.
Yeah, am I right in saying that you had sort of a pre-existing relationship? Because are you quite close to Luther Clay, or have I made that up?
Yeah. Me and Luther close. Local, so we've done a lot of sparring together, some training together, and yeah.
And he put a good word in.
Well, I've always been close with Aldo as well.
Right.
From more or less from the get-go, from even before when he was just coaching Luke, not coaching, managing Luke. So yeah, so we have always been close.
And obviously, Al's going to be the man to take you forward. And you talk about, I think you said a minute ago, you want to see fight by fight the improvements to see where he can get you to. You're not in a bad division as well. It's pretty tasty, sort of, for when you do come back over and get involved in the domestic scene. I suppose I could start with Cheeseman Eggington, obviously, been in the ring with Ted. That was sort of the biggest super welter domestic fight since the return of boxing. What do you make of that?
To be fair, I didn't. It was obviously a good fight to watch because you're seeing two guys going at it 100%, trying to kill each other's brains. But on the boxing side of it, it wasn't impressive. It looked like both their careers are going to be very short, if not coming to an end. They're both young fighters, and they're getting their heads bashed in. So looking at that fight, it actually put a smile on my face. I didn't feel so annoyed that I've been out the ring for 2 years, because in that 2 years I've not been hitting my head. And in that 2 years, both of them two, if we look at all of their last fights over the last 2 years, we're going to see a lot of brain damage, a lot of dead, cells, and yeah, a lot of damage. They probably, in the last 2 years I've had off, they've probably taken off about 3 years of their boxing career. So after seeing that, it makes you feel a little bit better.
And obviously, they're the guys that you'd consider sort of the top sort of guys domestically, along with the likes of Anthony Fowler, Hamza Sheeraz. Where do you sort of place yourself, though? Because obviously, when you've been out of the domestic scene for so long, you know, you're not going to sort of be in any rankings. People aren't really going to talk of your name amongst, like, I don't know, Jack Flatley, Troy Williamson, Kieran Conway. But sort of, where do you place yourself in amongst those guys?
I'm definitely up there with them. What I was going to say is we are planning on going down to welterweight. So this fight's going to be a bit lighter. I think this fight's at 68 kg, because I've always been a small one for the weight. So they have had like big weight advantages on me, like all the times I've been fighting at super welter, because I'm naturally a welterweight. So yeah, we are looking to go back down. But yeah, I'm up there. I'm definitely like one of the best in Britain, even still now. This performance coming up, I think that's going to show. It's going to be where I stamp my mark coming up. So it's hard to talk about it because it hasn't happened now. I'm doing all the right things. I'm doing it all inspiring. It's all being done. I'm looking well class. But fight night's the only night that matters. So I can't blow my horn yet, but the old me will come back once I know, because it's not fake when I'm gassed and I'm excited and I'm bossy. It has to be there, and I've got to see it. And then once I see it, then I fully 1,000,000% believe it.
Well, look, let's hope you can bring it home for Britain. I mean, let's hope as well we get a big highlight reel knockout that goes viral, get your name out there, get talking again, and we can see you back on these shores, because eventually that's what the Brits will want. We want to see you back over here.
Yeah, definitely. When I come back over, I'm coming back here with fireworks.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.